Howdy folks, Spencer here, and today I want to go over the latest batch of news for STO on both PC and console, and I also want to go over some new developments in the Embracer saga that have renewed questions about the future prospects of Star Trek Online's development under Cryptic Studios. As always, chapters are listed down below. And before I get into all of the Embracer and Cryptic issues, I do want to take a look at everything that's happened in the game over the past week. And of course, the big thing is that the Q's Winter Wonderland event is now live and it's going to be up through January 4th of 2024. Now, if you're wanting to earn the grand prize, the Temerian Cruiser, completely for free, you do need 20 days of participation in one of the 6 listed events on the winter map. Just do any one of those 6 once a day for 20 days and you'll get the ship for free. But if you do want to earn it for free, you do need to start sometime in the next week if you have not started already. And alongside the winter event, there was an Infinity Lockbox update for both PC and console. For those of us on PC, the Borg Assimilator Dreadnought Carrier was added in, and having now tested this, I can safely say that the accessories on this ship, the hangar pet, the console, and the starship trait, were quite disappointing to me. However, the ship is fun to fly, especially for those of you that have been waiting for a Borg ship. It does also actually have 200 inertia rating, meaning that it does stop the second you tell it to, so that was not a typo in the blog, and it is definitely the largest ship in the game. In fact, the Borg Assimilator is so large that the PC patch for this week had to include an increase to the maximum distance you could zoom the camera out so that you could fly larger ships like the Assimilator with ease. So for those of you that are big fans of big ships, might be worth taking a look at the Assimilator, but just know that the accessories on it were quite disappointing in my opinion in their current state. And for those of you over on console, the Dauntless 2 was added into the Infinity Lockbox. This dropped on PC, I think back in October, so a bit longer than the usual delay, I believe. I wasn't too impressed with the Dauntless 2. It's a decent side torp platform, but we already have quite a few of those, so really this is for people that just really like the Star Trek Prodigy ships and they want to collect yet another Prodigy ship in the game. Now, alongside the Infinity updates, there is of course a Key and Lobi sale. This is going to be running up through December 11th, so it's a 20% Lobi sale, which is nothing really that special. That's just the standard Lobi sale that they always run. And then the Key sale is just 15%. So if you're looking to stock up on keys, I would say to wait for the end of the month and just see what happens with the end of year sales that they do, because I think there's going to be something better than a 15% key sale. And we currently have a double XP event active on all platforms up through December 11th. So if you have any characters you're working on, make sure to take advantage of that. And for those of us on PC, there is going to be a MUDs update next week on December 14th, and along with it, there will be a 75% MUD sale for all of the non-bundle items in the MUD store from December 14th up through the 18th. The 3 new items that they're adding in are the Akar's Vengeance console, the Coalition Repulsor armor, and the Nadarian Defender. For the Akar's Vengeance console, I don't think it's really anything important for any of you to go out and pick up. The only time I've even used this thing in the past 2 or so years was just as a gen killer in some really high-end infected runs on a support build, but for most people, I think this is something that you can very safely ignore. The Coalition Repulsor armor, I don't think I could justify spending 15 to 20 bucks on just a ground armor that doesn't have like crit chance or severity stats on it, so that doesn't really look like anything special. I think that's a safe one to ignore. And then of course the Nadarian Defender. I think if you miss this ship, I think it is one that's probably worth picking up, especially during a 75% sale. That should mean that it costs 4,250 Zen. It's not the most popular ship. I know some of you absolutely hate seeing one of these in your runs, but honestly, this is a very nice ship to have on hand when you're doing like event queues or if you're helping people level up ships. this is a very good ship for also like leveling up a character in patrols, because you can turn the jellyfish mode on and it just nukes everything around you. So it definitely is a ship that has a playstyle that is not great to have around in all situations, but there are cues where the Nadarian Defender is rather useful. And for situations like leveling up a ship for other people or leveling up a new character, it is pretty handy to have on hand. So it's one that I would recommend picking up, but I know some of you will certainly disagree on that one. And for those of you over on console, you guys are getting the Mud's got a new mixtape bundle, which has the Freedom, the Herald Vomp, the Zenkethi Shukden, and the Tholian Iktomi. I already have a breakdown video for this, and I don't think it's a Mud's bundle that all of you should go for, but some of you may really want to pick up, like the Herald Vomp for Iktomi on account might unlock. And this is going to be dropping on December 15th, and along with it, there will be a 50% flash sale for this bundle running up through December 28th. So if you want to pick it up, it's going to be like $150 for the pick 3 choice pack, or about $300 for the mega bundle, which is not worth it in my opinion. And there will also be a 75% sale for the non-bundle items in the Mud store over on console from December 15th up through December 18th. So if you have anything wanting to pick up there, that's basically as good of a sale as you're going to get. That matches what we just had with the Black Friday sale. And next up, there's been some controversy surrounding some 3D printed ships from Integral Reality Labs, a company that appears to be directly associated with GamePrint. GamePrint being the company Cryptic had a contract with for the 3D printing service. And of note, that contract ended at the end of October when we were told that it was no longer financially viable and that we were not going to see any more 3D printed STO ships. Well, here we are in December, and IRL has just taken the top 10 bestsellers from GamePrint. They've done 7 to 8 inch model sizes for them, and they've done a limited run of 200 for each of the 10. And they're selling them for $100 a piece along with an NFT. Now, there's a few reasons this is causing some controversy. The price point, the lack of ability to customize them, those are obviously issues for people. The NFT definitely is a big thing here. But there's also the fact that some of these were not ships that Cryptic had provided to GamePrint. Some of these are ships that were player submitted to GamePrint. For example, the USS Pacifica, that was apparently submitted by Fragrance Free Vaseline. So you've got a mix of player and Cryptic submitted ships in here, and they're all being sold for $100 with an NFT associated with them. And there's also this little Pokemon card thing that they're selling also. So just a mix of things that is causing people to be quite upset. And there's a thought going around that the reason that the 3D printing service may have ended is because Cryptic got wind that GamePrint wanted to do some NFT stuff with the ships, and that may have caused Cryptic to back out of the deals, which is quite frustrating to think about given how much that service helped so many in the STO community. And the big topic for today is that I think we are witnessing the end of Cryptic Studios. So, about a month back, the layoffs happened with Embracer, as many of you are aware of, where Cryptic ended up losing about a sixth of their workforce, just judging by the losses to their LinkedIn page. And alongside the layoffs, there was also a restructuring over at Embracer in which Cryptic was moved from Gearbox over to DECA Games. Now, the thing with DECA Games is that they are known for maintaining really old games. They're breathing new life into old games is what their website says. You can go take a look at their statements and all that, and I'll have it linked down below. But the summary is, as Goss and some others have said, they're basically a nursing home for older games. And the impression that many of us had, the assumption, was that Cryptic was going to continue to remain pretty much independent under them, as Cryptic has under other publishers over the past decade. However, that does not appear to be the case this time, and it appears that DECA Games may be stepping in And the impression I'm getting is that they may have plans to slowly take over development for all of Cryptic's titles. And if that happens, that's basically it for Cryptic, because Cryptic's unreleased projects have all been canceled. In fact, some of the artists that were working on those unreleased projects have even posted gameplay up over on their LinkedIn pages, on their art stations, on YouTube. Like the games are done. Like they're posting the artwork from them, and if the game had any chance of coming back again in the future, I would assume that they wouldn't be going out and putting up the artwork and videos of gameplay. I just don't think they'd be doing that if there was a chance the project would come back at some point. So I think everything to me is pointing towards the most likely reality here being that DECA's going to slowly take things over the next couple of years. And I think that idea is reinforced by some statements that have been made on some streams. You look at some of the veteran people that have been at Cryptic for like 20 plus years, and now suddenly they're also going out and putting up their open offers as well. Like someone like Al Rivera has been there for 20 years, over 20 years. And now suddenly him and many other veteran people are open to offers elsewhere. Like something is clearly going on over there. And there's been a recent statement on a 10 forward that some of you may find interesting as well. Pay attention to Kale's face and Jonathan's here, and just listen to what they have to say about what Jonathan's been working on.
All of my timelines are on hold as we, as Jakar put it, enter a time of transition. I don't really know what the future will hold for my various schemes and things that I had like in flight under the hood. All that
just
stuff is
we're
question marks right now.
just because we're looking at the schedule for the new year and planning some things around. Sorry, Jonathan, to cut you off. The way you said that sounded a little more dire than it actually is. So I wanted to make sure people knew. It's just because we're diving into schedule stuff, like Jared was talking about.
All of
Not a very positive statement there. And the other thing too is with Jonathan here, if you go look at his LinkedIn profile, he, as of the past 2 or so weeks, has also now marked himself as open to work. And he has a recent recommendation from Jesse on November 28th. So you've got more and more people that are actively, senior members of various Cryptic teams posting that they're open to offers. And you've got statements like that. You've got some of them, on Twitter talking about, you got Jesse here talking about, looking for information about unions in the game industry. Clearly, the people that work at Cryptic know, that they know that DECA is probably wanting to take control. They know that Cryptic doesn't have a future. They know that Cryptic isn't going to be making new games. The new games that they've been working on have just been killed off. Embracers shuttered a lot of upcoming projects with all the financial woes they've been having. And now you've got DECA Games going out and posting job offers for technical positions for Cryptic titles. Typically, if it was something technical, it would have been on the Cryptic website. But there's no job listings at all on the Cryptic website. Rather, it's DECA Games putting up that they're looking for people to work on Cryptic titles. When Perfect World was hiring for like STO and the other Cryptic stuff in the past, it was usually, I believe it was just for like marketing or like the community manager position. I don't recall Perfect World hiring technical positions to work on the Cryptic engine. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was limited more towards the business side of stuff. And you've got DECA Games here, bunch of job postings up on their site, and you've got a couple that do mention Star Trek Online, or Cryptic's titles. The other one that Goss had found is that they're looking for a new senior community manager. And if you look at the requirements, they want someone who has a strong understanding of the Star Trek universe or willingness and enthusiasm to become an expert in it. So they're looking to replace at least one of the roles that Kale is currently handling. They're looking for someone else to step in as the community manager for STO. I don't know if they're also looking for someone to, take over the other community manager positions, if they're looking to fully replace Kale or just get someone in there to help him out. I don't know. But I think you look at the job postings here, you look at who at Cryptic is putting up that they're open to work on LinkedIn. Like, Al Rivera's been there for almost 21 years. And now suddenly he's looking for offers. I don't think this bodes well for Cryptic's future. It's just everything here is adding up to DECA Games most likely taking over development of the game at some point in the future. Now, some of you are probably wondering, what does that actually mean for the game? The game's going to be around, to be clear. Star Trek Online, especially under DECA, it's going to be around as we go into the 2030s, most likely. But what concerns me is if they're looking to replace the development team, which is probably what they're eventually looking to do, especially if you've got people like Jesse already right now trying to get ahead of this and get information about starting a union, I think it doesn't bode well for the current development team that is working on this game. I think over the next couple of years, we're going to see DECA take more and more control of the game and, well, just all of Cryptic's games in general, and Cryptic slowly get withered down, get assimilated into DECA. I don't know what this is going to mean, other than the game's going to be around, but I don't know what development's going to look like, a couple years from now. I know the anniversary event is being developed, but we know literally nothing, about after the anniversary event. And we don't know what timelines DECA has, but, clearly you can see a lot of... You go look at the Cryptic page, and you can see a lot of senior people even over there are, marking themselves as open to work. And this is just a number that has continued to grow as time goes on. So I don't know what to think of everything. I'm just putting the information out there and some thoughts I have about it. But I don't know what exactly this means for the game long term. I don't know what this means for the people who have been working on it for the past, decade plus. So let me know what you think of things down below. I'll have links to DECA if you want to take a look at them closer, and some of the other relevant links here if you want to look into things more yourself. But yeah, it's definitely a difficult time, and I think 2024 is probably going to bring some similar difficulties and frustrations for us and the STO development team. So hopefully I'm wrong in this assessment. But I just feel like if with technical positions even that they're hiring for, just isn't a good sign for the current development team. Again, let me know what you think down below, but that's going to be it for now. Thank you all for tuning in. Again, thank you to all channel members and viewers for the continued support. I'll see you guys around.